So this is super important milestone. When you start to understand 50 different words, again, this number is not magic. It's just a ballpark here. And then you start to understand the concept like, oh, these are vegetables, these are fruit, these are animals. And when you be able to understand the concept, it help you to be able to answer a question like, what color is this? In order to answer that question, you have to understand what meant by color. And then your child's ability to be able to, understand red, yellow, green, help him to understand, oh, all those things is called color. And that's when we start to see single word and phrases.
I love how you really broke down where receptive fits and, kind of the light bulb that kind of went off for me. Receptive is a fundamental pillar of direction following, meaning if a
Absolutely.
child doesn't
Mhm.
have a strong base of knowing what things are, it's gonna be really hard for them to execute listening skills. Even knowing, right? So what we're talking about, the brain loves things in categories. And what receptive is really building the library. These are all the colors, blue, yellow, black. So when they hear the black, all of a sudden that neuron in the color category lights up and now they can observe it in the environment. So it is an important aspect that they need to know what shoes are before you start asking them to go get their shoes, because that's the link. So really thinking out loud, receptive really is brain clarity. They know exactly what's happening and they can receive that image. Now, when they hear the auditory, they can now use the action. Once you have receptive fundamental, it goes into direction following. And of course, we also know receptive is the fundamental for communication. You need to know what the shoes are so that the child can then ask for the shoe. And this is where it doesn't matter if your child is verbal or nonverbal. That's why receptive is very powerful, is that once they have the fundamentals, now you can ask them a question through direction following and they're able to respond. But on the other hand, they can now initiate, hey, I want to go outside, where's my shoes? And be able to do those things.